Kicking off our list, number 10 is Steve Harvey. He has many years of hosting on his resume, so he was the perfect candidate to host the 2015 Miss Universe pageant. But even with years of experience, that was not enough to prevent this from happening. He went to announce the winner of the national contest, but accidentally said the wrong person. He was just reading from a card and didn't notice it until after the whole crowd and Miss Universe was already celebrating her win. Like, she literally had the crown on her head already. He then had to announce to everyone that she was not the winner, and it was just incredibly awkward and embarrassing. It was hard to even witness and watch the clip. He came under a lot of fire for the mistake, and people were even booing him while he was on stage. They even had to awkwardly remove the crown from Miss Colombia and then put it on Miss Philippines' head, and it was just one of like the most cringe-worthy moments I've ever seen happen at an award show. Steve, of course, took full responsibility and said that he read the card wrong, but people were not happy about it. Kicking off our countdown list at number 10 is Justin Timberlake and Mila Kunis. They are on this list together because they were paired up to announce one of the awards and took things just a little bit too far. They took the opportunity to blatantly promote their new movie at the time, Friends with Benefits, where they play the leading characters and are literally just friends with benefits in it. So when they went on stage, they started explaining their friendship, saying that they're like brother and sister, but then they started groping each other and everyone was a little bit confused. Justin stood behind her and grabbed her breasts while she took one hand and grabbed his junk. And they basically just stood there grabbing each other's junk. It was very weird. They were like talking and groping each other. People were very shocked, and while some of them were laughing, others felt that it was just like a little bit too far. Kicking off our countdown at number 10 is Nicki Minaj. Celebrity drama happens all the time, but there is a time and place when to get into it with one another. Most people would agree that during an award show is the last place that you should bring up some drama from the media. It was during the 2015 VMA Awards when Miley Cyrus was hosting the show and found herself in a scandal right in the middle of it. Nicki was accepting the award for Best Hip Hop Video for Anaconda when she looked across the room to the other stage that Miley was on and said, "And now back to this that had a lot to say about me in the press the other day. Miley, what's good?" The whole room fell silent and it was just so awkward to watch. You could tell Miley was in complete shock and she tried her best to just say that the media will turn your words into something that they are not, and then she just kind of like continued on with the show. It was super awkward. Like what? Why would you call someone out in the middle of an award show? Ladies, just discuss it later on. Starting us off at number 10 is Adele. It's no surprise that she has won a handful of awards for her music, as it has resonated with countless fans across the globe. Even though she only releases music once in a while, you can always guarantee that her songs will be a hit. So in 2017 at the Grammy Awards, when she won Album of the Year, it wasn't totally surprising for fans. But it was surprising to her. When Adele and her team made their way to the stage to give her speech, she was quick to note that she feels she shouldn't have won the award. In her eyes, Beyonce should have won it, and she wanted everyone to know that, especially Beyonce. She ended up spending her acceptance speech time to give a speech to Beyonce about how she should have won. She even went as far as breaking her award in half and giving the other piece to her fellow singer. While some people thought it was a really kind gesture, others called it tacky and insulting to the fact that she was chosen for the award and just didn't seem to want it. It honestly reminded me of the Mean Girls scenes when like she breaks the crown into a million pieces and then throws them out to people. Kicking off our countdown at number 10 is Mariah Carey. Back in 2010 at the Palm Springs International Film Festival, she won the award for her role in Precious. She played a social worker and was receiving the award for Breakthrough Actress. She tried to accept her award graciously, but that seemed difficult for her since she had one too many drinks. You could tell she was tipsy the minute she started talking, and the worst part was she was up there with the director of the movie who just did not seem impressed at all. Mariah ended up apologizing in her speech, saying that it was all the splashes of champagne she had on an empty stomach. She did the best she could as she slurred her way through the speech. Rookie mistake though for drinking on an empty stomach. Like, that
That is rule number 1 in any drinking guide. Like, always eat, especially on one of the most important nights of your life.
Sliding into number 9 is John Travolta. He can't blame this mistake on reading a card wrong. This mistake is something he had to take full responsibility for. We're not sure how it happened, but John was in charge of introducing an artist at the 2014 Oscar Awards. Idina Menzel was performing her iconic song, Let It Go, from the Disney movie Frozen, which actually went on to win the Oscar for Best Original Song. So her performance was a big deal, and one that she as a performer would probably always remember. Except she won't, because John did not say her name when he announced her performance. He did say a name, but it wasn't hers. I'm not sure what explanation he had, but he mispronounced her name and said something completely different. He announced her as Adele Dazeem. Her name is Idina Menzel. He did apologize to her after the awards, and they went on to make a joke out of it at a future Oscar award show.
In spot number 9, we have Katherine Heigl. Now, this one was not her fault, and she totally handled it with grace. So did she ruin her entire career? No. But the embarrassing moment was talked about for a while, and it's worth mentioning because she took it like such a champ. Better than I probably would have. The Grey's Anatomy star wore a stunning red dress to the Show West Awards, and her dress was all that people were talking about after the event. But not for the reason that you're probably thinking. She won the Female Star Award and was walking up to the stage to accept her award. While she was walking up to the stage to get it, her red dress started to fall off, and she realized that one of her straps had completely broke. But she still continued to go up and receive her award, and the host at the time, Billy Bush, held up her dress from the back. Like, literally held it up so that it did not fall off of her. She made it through the whole presentation and got a huge round of applause for overcoming her wardrobe malfunction with such grace and class. She was very tasteful about it. I probably would have made weird jokes and freaked out. I probably would have just not gone up on stage. Up next, number 9, we have Johnny Depp. The actor shocked everyone when he showed up to the Hollywood Film Awards in 2014 and gave a very strange speech. He took the stage to present the documentary award for Mike Myers' documentary, Supermensch, The Legend of Shep Gordon, but he stumbled his way through the speech. He was stumbling over his words, slurring and swearing, all things that you don't expect to see while someone is giving out an important award. But yeah, he appeared wobbly from the start, to be honest, as he struggled with the microphone and called it the weirdest microphone he has ever seen in his life, as if he has never stood in front of one before. Other celebrities and fans took this speech to Twitter, saying that he should be embarrassed and that he came across as an arrogant drunk. Reports say that he had made his way to the bar before hitting the stage, but most people honestly already concluded that, like, on their own. If you watch the speech, you would already know he had a few drinks. Sliding into number 9, we have Bradley Cooper. He was on the list with Lady Gaga, but this one is different. People were calling the actor cold after seeing an interview he did on the red carpet at the Oscars. Juliana Rancic was doing her thing and interviewing celebrities as they walked by, and when she got to Bradley, she was thrilled. She was telling him how much his movie made her fall more in love with her husband, and basically just poured her heart and feelings out to him about how touching his performance was. That's like something every actor wants to hear. She followed that by asking him how he felt about putting something like that out into the world. His reply took people by surprise, as he said they were all working as hard as they could, and then said, other than that, I don't know. The internet went crazy and said that he was so dry with her and that his response was just very cold and unnecessary. Maybe he was having a bad day. It's a tough life, you know? Being at the Oscars. Moving on to number 9, we have Eminem. He has made a lot of headlines throughout his career, but this one was weird for everyone. In 2002, he made headlines that read, Slim Shady fights a puppet. It was at the VMA Awards when the puppet, called Triumph the Insult Comic Dog, started making jokes at him about his feud with the techno artist Moby. Now, the man behind the puppet is comedy writer Robert Smigel, who was just doing his job insulting celebrities in a joking manner. But Eminem was not having the little skit, and he shoved the puppet out of his way, and then one of his friends grabbed Robert's notes and just tossed them him into the air. Robert and his puppet were later asked about it during a press conference, and he said, "Try to be easy on Eminem. At the end of the day, he is just another white guy trying to make an honest living, stealing black people's music." Who knew a puppet could cause so much drama and make something that was supposed to be funny into something so serious? Although I can't even imagine Eminem tolerating some sort of insulting puppet. I just can't see him having the patience for that.
In our number 8 spot is Neil Patrick Harris. The Oscars are one of the biggest award shows in the industry, and it's safe to say that all celebrities dress up for the evening wearing long gowns and tailored suits. But Neil had a different attire in mind for the evening and went on stage in nothing but his underwear. He did a sketch that was a spoof from the Best Picture winner, Birdman, and it ended with him in little white briefs facing the audience in his underwear. People were shocked, as some would say the Oscars might not have been the time and place for something like that, but some people still had a good laugh. People were probably just worried how he would behave at future talk shows if he was asked to host or announce another winner. It probably wasn't the most appropriate choice for the event, but he did it with confidence.
Cruising into number 8 is Ian Somerhalder. You know you've gone through an embarrassing moment when the internet turns you into a GIF. The awkward moment has gone down as one of the greatest award show moments of all times because it is so awkward and funny to watch. Ian is a heartthrob actor from shows like The Vampire Diaries and Lost, but no matter how good looking he is, Ariana Grande had no problem making him look like a fool. Ian announced an award that she had won, and as she went up to get the award from him and give her speech, he went in to give her a kiss, and she completely turned it down and swung away so that he would kiss her on the cheek. The whole encounter was so awkward that it is now a GIF, and you've probably used it before without knowing the backstory. So you're welcome, because I actually have seen it and I was like, what is this? Sliding into number 8, we have Miguel Adorn. This one ended in a lawsuit, so it had more of an impact on his bank account than his reputation. The video is hard to watch, but it is a must-see. Our video would get claimed for copyright, but I will provide as many hilarious pictures as possible. Go watch the clip after this video though. Honestly, it is worth the fail. It's worth the watch. It was at the Billboard Music Awards in 2013 when he jumped off the stage and ended up landing on a woman's face. Well, he actually landed on 2 women, but one of them took the brunt of the fall. Of course, it was totally an accident. He was supposed to land on the other stage, not a person. But the victim sued him, and 2 years later, in 2015, he was facing a lawsuit for negligence. The lawsuit claimed that the victim faced injuries, medical expenses, possible future medical expenses, loss of wages, and loss of personal property, and loss of enjoyment of life. The lawsuit was worth $10,000. $10,000 for jumping off the stage. Bruh. Did you not plan if you missed that jump, what would happen? There's people underneath you. Up next, number 8, we have Sofia Vergara. It's no secret that she is considered one of the most beautiful women in the world. Some would say that she has it all with her stunning face and beautiful curves. But there is a time and a place to praise someone for their looks, and I'm not sure if a pedestal at an awards show is the way to go about it. At the 2014 Emmys, Bruce Rosenblum, who is the chairman of the Academy of Television Arts and Sciences, decided to literally put her up on a pedestal. She just stood there on a pedestal and it rotated 360 degrees so everyone could get a look at her and just how marvelous she was. The whole thing caused a stir on social media. Some people said it was unnecessary and went a little too far. Some people even called it creepy, but I will let you guys be the judge of that. Let me know in the comments. Cruising into number 8, we have Natalie Portman. Throughout the years, many women in Hollywood have used award shows as an opportunity to call out the inequality within the industry between men and women. Oprah Winfrey did just that at the 2018 Golden Globe Awards, and many actresses have followed suit ever since then. So Natalie Portman thought she would do just that, but the timing for it didn't seem to be the best choice. Most people use their acceptance speech to talk about that, but she brought it up during the presentation of another her award. She was on stage with director Ron Howard by her side, and it was their job to have a little conversation before announcing the winner for the Best Director category. Natalie used the opportunity to fake excitement over the fact that all the nominees in the category were men and not women. While her intentions were good, the timing was just super uncomfortable as the male director just awkwardly stood beside her and they presented the award to another male director. It was super awkward.
Cruising into number 7 is Lady Gaga. Her meat dress has gone down in history for a few different reasons, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me fill you in or refresh your memory. Lady Gaga showed up to the 2010 MTV Music Awards in a dress that was made out of raw meat. Not only the dress, but she had a matching headpiece and boots that were also red, bloody looking raw meat. A lot of people were offended by it, especially vegetarians and vegans, as you can imagine. Animal rights activists were also disgusted and angry about her decision, and she had a lot of explaining to do in the media after that. She went on the Ellen DeGeneres show after the awards and said it was no disrespect to anyone who is vegan or vegetarian, and said it was tied to her protest against the military's "Don't Ask, Don't Tell" policy. She also explained that it went with her recent cover for Vogue Japan, where she wore a meat bikini to symbolize that she is not a piece of meat, although she's wearing a piece of meat. While people could appreciate the message that she was trying to put out there may have been a better way of going about it.
Moving on to number 7, we have James Franco and Anne Hathaway. Another celebrity pair who had a great opportunity given to them at an award show, but they completely blew it. The two of them were asked to host the 2011 Oscars, which would be a dream come true for a lot of people, but their hosting experience went down in history as one of the worst hosting jobs ever. Articles have dubbed it as one of the cringiest nights in Oscars history. It was that bad. In 2019, Anne did an interview with People and spoke about the night and said that she turned the gig down at first and that James convinced her to do it. She wished she hadn't. James spoke about it with Variety and said that he thinks the problem was that they were so opposite from one another and that there was just no chemistry. Everyone says that James looked bored next to her on stage, and some even claimed that he looked stoned, but he said that he was just trying too hard to match like her calm energy. Honestly, probably one of the weirdest pairings ever to host the Oscars. Like, what? So random. Moving on to number 7, we have Tiffany Haddish. The hilarious actress made headlines after the 2018 Oscars, but for reasons that she probably regrets. She joined Andy Serkis on stage to announce the nominations for the 90th Academy Awards, but the way she mispronounced names on some of the nominees had people roasting her on Twitter. She couldn't pronounce a few different names, but she remained in good spirits while she tried a few times to just get it right. Other celebrities and fans went on Twitter to laugh at her Oscar flub and wondered how she even got them that wrong. However, while some people were laughing, other people weren't. He tweeted, "This is brutal watching Tiffany Haddish mispronounce everything during these Oscar announcements. It was disrespectful and pathetic." What do you guys think? Like, is it disrespectful and pathetic? Are you with them, or would you laugh it off and be like, we're human? Some people can't pronounce names. Like me. Cruising into number 7, we have Reese Witherspoon. When you think of Reese, you probably think of America's Sweetheart because throughout her career, that is the title that she earned for herself. She's always come across as very kind, more quiet than most, and very soft-spoken, which is why it was so surprising to see a more edgy side to her at the 2011 MTV Movie Awards. When she made her way up on the stage to collect her Popcorn Award, she got ready to give her speech, which people thought was going to be like this sweet, heartfelt moment. But within the acceptance speech, she started speaking about girls achieving more than releasing a personal tape and starring on a reality TV show. Quite the remark to make when the industry is filled with celebrities who got famous for exactly that. Personal videos and reality shows. People immediately saw through Reese's speech and called her out online, saying that she was seemingly taking jabs at Kim Kardashian. Next up at number 7, we have Bob Dylan. Let me start off by saying this was no way his fault and he had no control over the situation. It was just bad luck that it happened during his performance. His career was not destroyed, but his performance definitely was. And the person to blame for that is a man named Michael Portnoy. He was a New York-based performance artist who jumped on stage during Bob Dylan's performance at the 1998 Grammy Awards. The musician was performing Lovesick with his band, and Michael removed his shirt and ran up on stage and began dancing with the words "soy bomb" painted on his bare chest. He began dancing in this very strange, robotic, contorted manner with his eyes closed, and he later said he used the words on his chest because soy represents dense nutritional life and he wanted art to represent dance, transformation, explosive life. His words, not mine. He was on stage for a total of 35 seconds before being removed by security. Bob Dylan stayed professional though, and he just kept playing as if the man was not right next to him. So props to him, handled it like a champ, but yeah. The performance was definitely, not great.
Moving on to number 6, we have Katy Perry. She definitely stole the show at the 2008 Latin American Awards, and all for the wrong reasons. She is known for being an epic performer who usually has a lot of fun costumes and props incorporated into her performances. So when she showed up to the awards and brought a giant cake on stage during her performance, people weren't that surprised. But they were surprised with what happened as the song went on. She started by standing above the giant pink cake, which was real by the way, and during the song she jumps on it, doing a belly flop directly into the cake. After she climbed out of the cake, she could not walk or stand because she was covered in icing and kept slipping. Her guitar player was trying to help her stand up, but every time she got up, she fell again. She ended up having to crawl off the stage.
Up next, number 6 is Cate Blanchett. Because I am a girl full of attitude and sassy comments, I personally love this one because she got sassy and put some people in their place at the 2014 SAG Awards. She won the award for Best Female Actor in a Leading Role, and her speech was one that has made history. She began her speech and started thanking people, and just 5 seconds in, she was cut off by the teleprompter telling her she only had 29 seconds until her time was up. So she let the audience know that she only had 29 seconds and slammed Matthew McConaughey, saying that he talked about Neptune when doing his speech so she could have more than 5 seconds. People were shocked at her sassy remark, but then started clapping because she does make a solid point. Also, 30 seconds is not enough time to accept a huge award like that. Are you kidding me? How do I possibly come up with a speech for within 30 seconds? Probably never have to, so I'm not worried about it, but. Making her way into number 6 is Jacqueline Bisset. We can't deny that a lot of celebrities want to be the biggest player in the game, so winning an award for their career is probably one of the most important things to ever receive. Which is why many of them will spend hours trying to draft up an acceptance speech in case they win the award. They can be prepared when they go up on stage. Well, Jacqueline seemed to be one of these celebrities who prepared, but hers was way longer than anyone expected. She won the award for the Best Actress in a Supporting Role at the 2014 Golden Globes, and her speech could just not be stopped. News articles spoke on how long her speech was, and people talked about it on social media, saying that it went on for what seemed like hours. While people were happy to see her win the award, the speech just came off as a total fail. I appreciate, you want to thank everyone and you deserve that moment to win. But yeah, there is a time limit, I feel like, where people just stop listening. In spot number 6 is Melanie Griffith and Dakota Johnson. Nothing worse than an awkward mother-daughter moment caught on camera and then later turned into a viral meme. Many people know Dakota Johnson as the lead actress in 50 Shades of Grey, but she's also the daughter of the iconic actress Melanie Griffith. Although they are a famous family, it doesn't mean that they don't get into little tiffs like the rest of us normal people. But one of their tiffs came out during a red carpet interview at the 2015 Academy Awards. The two of them were doing an interview and things got super uncomfortable when Melanie was asked whether or not she has seen her daughter's movie, 50 Shades of Grey. Anyone who knows the movie or the book knows that it includes a lot of racy sex scenes. Melanie admitted that she had not seen it, and when the interviewer told her she should because it was really good, she kept refusing. She was so persistent on not wanting to watch it to a point where Dakota chimed in and says, "All right, you don't have to see it." It just created this like really awkward moment between them, and you could just feel the tension. It was super uncomfortable. Although, like, if I was her mom, I don't know if I'd want to see my daughter doing all that. But then, like, you want your mom to, like, support your career? I don't know. Tough call. Rolling into spot number 6, we have Nicole Kidman. One of the best parts about award shows is the camera capturing the reactions of audience members. We love to see how people react to other winners or how the losers in the category react to the loss. But sometimes these cameras capture the strangest reactions, and Nicole Kidman's is one of them. It was in 2017 that she made weird headlines after going to the Oscars. The headlines were talking about her very strange clap, which they said looked like a seal clapping. As she sat in the audience next to her husband Keith Urban, she stood up from her chair and started clapping at those who were standing on stage receiving their awards. Bless her heart. That's a normal thing and a very kind thing, but when the camera panned to her and showed the world how she was clapping, it is all Twitter could talk about. Her fingers were pointed out to the side, like away from each other like this, and then when she was clapping, her hands didn't actually touch, so it looked like this. Nicole later said it was because she was wearing a huge ring that was not hers and she did not want to damage it.
Halfway through our list, at number 5 is Kristen Stewart. One of the most embarrassing things that can happen to an artist is dropping the award when winning it. A speech can be enough pressure when you win an award, having to walk up on stage and gracefully put into words what it means to you while an entire crowd watches you and the world watches you behind their screens. Kristen won Best Female Performance at the 2009 MTV Movie Awards and won herself a golden popcorn statue. While she was accepting her award, she ended up dropping her golden popcorn statue and it broke. Viewers gasped and it was just very awkward and an embarrassing moment to watch, but she did handle it with grace. The woman in charge of handling the trophies, Susanna Della Rosa, said they actually shipped the awards back to New York before the artist actually gets them to engrave them. So Kristen did receive a new one that was not broken.
Halfway through the list at number 5 is Jon Hamm. The actor won his first Emmy Award in 2015 after 16 nominations, so accepting the award was a very special moment, which is why people were so confused when he decided to accept his trophy while on his knees. When he was called up to accept the award for lead actor in a drama series, he climbed up on stage on his hands and knees. It was just very weird, but thankfully he did make it up with a very humble speech where he thanked his dog and his now ex-girlfriend Jennifer Westfeldt. But thanking your dog? That is who I would thank first. For sure. My doggy. Halfway through our list, number 5 is Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway. A mistake that could happen to anyone, so this one really isn't their fault, but they had to take the heat for it because they were the presenters. They were presenting at the 2017 Oscars and apparently they were given the wrong envelope and mistakenly announced that La La Land had won Best Picture. They were actually given a copy of an envelope that declared Emma Stone on Best Actress for La La Land, but that award had already been announced, so there was just a big mix-up with envelopes. It was a very uncomfortable thing to watch because La La Land was giving their acceptance speech, but then got cut short, and then Moonlight was declared to be the actual winner. Announcing the wrong winner at the Oscars, I don't think it gets much worse than that. That would be like my biggest fear. Oh, how awkward, because then they're celebrating and then you just take their award back and be like, oops, sorry, you actually didn't win. Awkward. Halfway through our countdown, at number 5 is Leonardo DiCaprio. His embarrassing moment quickly turned into a gif and went down as one of the funniest moments at the 2016 Golden Globe Awards. It was a mix of funny and cringeworthy only because people didn't know what was going on in his head when it happened. Lady Gaga won a Golden Globe for her performance in American Horror Story, and she was walking past his table to make her way to the stage. His reaction to her walking past cast was priceless. His facial expression came out as very inappropriate and rude, so of course it went viral right away. There were comments flooding the internet saying he was flinching away from her like he didn't want her to accidentally touch him. But he denied the claims and said he just didn't realize that she was brushing past him, so he was a little startled. Honestly, it's still an ongoing debate, so let me know what you think. Does look a little bit sketchy. Halfway through our list at number 5, we have Winona Ryder. Speaking of weird reactions getting caught on camera, Winona is just another person who was caught acting a little bit strange. I can just imagine though what facial expressions like they would capture of me, so I'm in no position to judge. Her reaction was highly talked about at the 2017 SAG Awards. She had joined the cast of Stranger Things on stage to accept the award for outstanding performance by an ensemble in a drama series. When they all made their way to the stage, actor David Harbour was giving the speech and her reaction to it was hilarious. Her expressions went from confusion to disgust to fear to joy and then back to confusion. It was hard to focus on the man giving the speech because her roller coaster of emotions was just so much more fun to watch.
Up next, number 4 is Jennifer Lawrence. Bless her heart, she had one of the most embarrassing moments captured on camera for the world to see, but she did handle it like a champ. It was at the Oscar Awards when she was called up on stage to receive the Best Actress Award for her role in The Silver Lining Playbook. That's a moment that every artist probably dreams about and like plans out in their head how they would do it. She could have rehearsed winning the award as many times as she wanted, but it still wasn't enough to prevent her fall from happening. That is right, as she was walking up the stairs on the stage to get her award, she tripped and fell down. She ended up just staying on the stairs for a minute on the ground, just laughing to herself and like covering her face from the camera. After the award, she explained what happened and said that she remembers her stylist telling her to kick and walk, meaning kick the dress out while you walk, and she just got distracted and forgot. The dress tucked under her feet and she went down. It was pretty much game over from there.
Moving on to number 4, we have Elizabeth Taylor. We've seen some people mess up when announcing a winner or revealing the nominees. Maybe they get nervous or the teleprompter just screws up. But this mistake was totally on Elizabeth and she had no one to really blame but herself. It was back in 2001 at the Golden Globe Awards when she was announcing the winner for Best Motion Picture Drama category. Most people wouldn't expect the legendary actress to mess this up, but we are all human at the end of the day. She got a little ahead of herself and she started opening the winner envelope before announcing the nominees, which is like the most important part. The crowd started yelling for her to stop and the producer, Dick Clark, actually ran up on stage and stopped her in time. It was an innocent mistake, but like, have you watched an award show before? Come on. You can't say the winner without the nominees. In spot number 4, we have Rami Malek. He has been a big player in the game for a while now, but his role as Freddie Mercury in Bohemian Rhapsody really put him on the map. He was nominated for countless awards at the 2019 Oscar Awards and even walked away with a few wins to his name. Unfortunately, he also walked away with some bruises. Bruises on his body and some bruises to his ego. As he made his way to the center of the stage to collect his award, it seemed like he was in a rush to get back to his seat and his girlfriend. In his rush back, he so happened to fall off the stage and completely tumbled to the ground with his award in hand. Falling off the Oscar stage is definitely up there for one of the most embarrassing things that could happen to an actor when winning an award. Like if I won an award, my biggest fear would be the speech and then literally not falling, especially because I'd be in a dress. Jennifer Lawrence. I'm thinking about you, girl. Rolling into spot number 4 is Brendan Fraser. Speaking of gifts, Leo wasn't the only person to have an embarrassing moment turned into one. But if I'm being honest, the attention Brendan got for this seemed so ridiculous to me. Like, I'm still confused why he went viral and why people made such a big deal about it. Back in 2010, he was making strange headlines that focused on how he clapped his hands. It was at the Golden Globes when the camera caught an awkward moment of him clapping at something, but it looked like he just forgot how to actually clap. The bizarre clip resulted in endless amounts of GIFs and memes, and honestly, I still don't understand it to this day. Yes, it's like a weird clapping thing he does, Like, is that really worth a headline? I don't know. Cruising into spot number 4, we have Marlon Brando. This one caused a huge controversy, so your opinion might differ from someone else's. At the 1973 Oscar Awards, apparently he wasn't interested in accepting the award for his movie The Godfather. So instead of him going up and accepting his award, he sent Sacheen Littlefeather, a 26-year-old Native American activist and aspiring actress. She didn't quite give an acceptance speech though. It was actually quite the opposite. She read excerpts from a letter that was prepared by Marlon rejecting the award because of the treatment of American Indians today by the film industry. As she was reading, the audience gave her mixed emotions, with some people booing and some people applauding. A lot of people were just very confused as to why he would reject an Oscars award, and if he was going to do that, then they said that he should be the one to do so. Let me know what you guys think about this, because I'm actually curious on, your opinion.
Taking over the number 3 spot is Madonna. Speaking of falling, another beautiful woman who happened to fall during the worst time possible in front of the whole world. This one was painful to watch for a few reasons. 1, because it is so embarrassing and you just feel so bad for her, and 2, because she fell down a set of stairs backwards, which we can imagine would be very painful. It was during her performance at the 2015 Brit Awards when she was wearing a cape that was apparently tied too tight around her neck. What was supposed to happen was she was going to untie the cape at the top of the stairs, and the dancers were to pull the cape off of her from the bottom of the stairs. Well, they did that, but the cape did not come undone. Madonna later explained what happened and said she was told to tie the cape tighter so that it wouldn't fall off throughout the performance. So when she went to untie it, it did not come undone, but the dancers were pulling it, so they basically strangled her and yanked her backwards, and that is how she fell. She ended up hitting the back of her head on the floor and had whiplash from it. She was okay, but she did vow to never perform using a cape ever again.
Taking over our 3rd spot is Stacey Dash. Ever since the 2016 Oscars, she has been given the award for the most confusing joke ever at an award show. She made an appearance on the show and left everyone scratching their heads in confusion. Chris Rock introduced the actress as the new director of the Academy's Minority Outreach Program. After walking out on stage, she said, "I cannot wait to help my people out. Happy Black History Month." People were baffled since there was a huge call from the world earlier in the year to end Black History Month, since we should be learning about it and celebrating it all year round. Everyone's reaction in the audience was caught on camera, and people just looked completely stunned. Celebrities also took their thoughts to Twitter after that, and Demi Lovato tweeted, "And that was the only time Stacey Dash will ever be at the Oscars again." And I think Demi was right. I think that was in fact the last time. Taking over the 3rd spot is Ryan Seacrest. I am all for a little bit of innocent self-promotion, but there is a time and a place, and I don't know if the Oscars is the place for that. In one aspect, the promotion opportunity is huge because it's the Oscars, but some people would say it's just not very classy. Ryan Seacrest had no problem with it and used his hosting opportunity to his advantage. At the 2019 Oscar Awards, he was doing what he always does by interviewing celebrities on the red carpet and asking them who they are wearing so that they can promote the designers. But people said Ryan went a little overboard and used a lot of his screen time to plug his new suit line. Most people want to hear about the world's biggest designers, but Ryan wanted people to know that he had a new suit line. He even dished on where they could buy it, and fans let him know on social media just how annoying it was. In our 3rd spot is Chrissy Teigen. Speaking of memes, she is the queen of memes after her face turned into one of the biggest ones in the entire world. Even without showing the picture, you probably already know which one I'm talking about because it is known as being the meme face now. Chrissy is absolutely hilarious on the internet, so if anyone could laugh off a meme, it's her. During the 2015 Golden Globe, she provided us with a meme that would entertain us for years. Her husband, John Legend, was on stage performing one of his beautiful love songs about her. Of course, the camera was on her to catch her reaction to his performance, but it seemed to have caught her in a bad moment. It seemed like she was trying to keep back her tears, but when the camera caught her, it looked like she had smelt something very bad, and she looked absolutely disgusted. This was probably just like the worst timing possible, but he's like singing this beautiful love song and she's literally just like, Making their way into number 3 is Frank Capra. The Academy Awards is probably a time when you want to use last names when presenting an award, especially when you're using a common name like Frank. An incredibly awkward and embarrassing moment happened to Frank Capra in 1934 when he thought he had won an award that he actually didn't. Will Rogers presented the Best Director award by saying, "Come up and get it, Frank." Frank Capra was nominated for Lady for a Day and just assumed that he meant it was him who won the award, so he started walking towards the stage. But the award was actually for Frank Lloyd. Frank Capra actually talked about this moment in his memoir, describing the very painful moment of returning to his seat, and he called it the longest, saddest, most shattering walk of shame in his life. That is the ultimate walk of shame. There's no recovering from that.
Sliding into number 2 is Miley Cyrus. Her 2013 VMAs performance with Robin Thicke was one of the most talked about performances of all time. It caused a ton of controversy, way more than anyone ever expected. Miley went on stage in a skin-colored two-piece and twerked on Robin Thicke while holding a giant foam finger. That's just like a little piece of the whole performance, so go watch it. People threw Miley in the fire for her outfit, her actions, which were pretty provocative, and dancing on Robin, who was a married man. When I say she received heat for it, I mean she took the heat for it. She explained they were both in rehearsals prior to that and said that he had no problem with the twerking and choreography, so it didn't make sense that she was just getting heat for the fact that he is married. The performance was one to remember, to say the least, and if you have not seen it, go watch. It's pretty epic.
Cruising into number 2 is Jonah Hill and Margot Robbie. The Wolf on Wall Street co-stars had to face a teleprompter fail at the Golden Globes back in 2014. They were doing what they were supposed to do, so it was not their fault. They were literally just reading what was on the teleprompter. But apparently they were fed the wrong lines and they started reading off something that they were not supposed to. They were supposed to present a clip from their movie, but then the teleprompter was just saying different things. Jonah was very real with the audience and said, "I'm not gonna lie to you, right now they put the wrong stuff on the teleprompter." Margot also kept it real and said, "I've never done this before, so I don't want to improvise." They laughed it off and so did the audience, and they were handed a piece of yellow paper with their planned dialogue on it because the show is always prepared like to go old school on them, which is actually kind of fascinating. Like in case the teleprompter fails, they actually have the dialogue on like spare cue cards, which I never knew. Making their way into number 2 is Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. Their performance at the 2019 Oscar Awards was one of the most talked about moments for a few different reasons, some good and some bad. The world saw them perform the song Shallow from their movie A Star is Born, and everyone praised their beautiful performance. But it raised a lot of eyebrows because of how romantic it seemed. People immediately flooded social media with claims that they were in a romantic relationship with one another, which obviously caused a lot of controversy because they were both in other relationships with other people at the time. People were very confused why they would perform as their characters that were in love when they were just there to perform as Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. But Gaga later explained and said, "We mapped the whole thing out. It was orchestrated as a performance. For me, as a performer and as an actress, of course we wanted people to believe that we were in love. But the world was convinced that something more was going on between them. If you guys saw it, let me know what you think." Taking over the number 2 spot is John Travolta. Now I know he's been on one of the other parts of this list, but this is for a different reason. Things got serious for the actor after he was being accused of being inappropriate and creepy towards Scarlett Johansson. It was at the 2015 Academy Awards while they were on the red carpet. Scarlett was just standing there, looking beautiful on the red carpet, taking pictures like they normally do, and out of nowhere, John approaches her from behind, wraps his arms around her waist, and kisses her on the cheek. Now, we're not sure what made him want to do that or why he seemed like it was an appropriate thing to do, but people had a lot to say about it, and Scarlett did not look too impressed by the face in her pictures. I don't think you can just go up and grab someone like that. What? At least say hi first. I don't know. Up next, number 2, we have Taylor Swift. Don't worry, Frank, you are not the only one who thought an award was for them when it wasn't. Taylor Swift also got ahead of herself at the 2014 Grammy Awards. She was one of the nominees for the Best Album category, and her album Red was the center of attention, so she probably felt that she had a very good chance of winning. As Alicia Keys read out the winner, the name of the album began with an R, so Taylor and her team thought they won the award and immediately just started celebrating. It was super awkward because the camera captured them celebrating right away, but then they quickly realized that it actually was not her album at all, and they did not actually win the award. It just started with an R, and they got ahead of themselves.
Earning the number 1 place on our list is Kanye West. It was back in 2009 at the MTV Awards when Kanye did the unthinkable and started a feud that lasted for a decade. Taylor Swift won an award which she was really excited about, but then Kanye had to take that excitement away from her. While she was giving her acceptance speech, Kanye climbed on the stage, took the mic from her, and announced to everyone that he thinks Beyonce should have won the award. He let everyone know that Beyonce's music video for Put a Ring on It was one of the best videos of all time. The audience was in complete shock, including Beyonce, who just looked completely mortified and embarrassed. Taylor looked shocked and honestly didn't even know what to say. Beyonce later apologized to Taylor on Kanye's behalf because she had nothing to do with it and was happy for Taylor receiving her award. Kanye, however, did not apologize.
In our number 1 spot is Harry Styles. He shocked everyone back in 2014 when he left his One Direction band on stage during one of the biggest moments in their career. The band was called up on stage at the Brit Awards to win their award for global success. So where was Harry when the rest of the band remained on stage to give a speech? Well, he was going to the bathroom. That is right, he left them to go to the bathroom apparently, but the band members didn't even know where he was. So one of them, when giving their speech, asked the audience if anyone had seen Harry. Before the speech ended, Harry did run out on stage and announced to the audience that he was having a wee and that it was very far away. However, a plot twist, it was later revealed that he was not actually in the bathroom and that he was outside having a sneaky little cigarette with his pal Nick Grimshaw. So he was not having a wee after all. In our number 1 spot is Angelina Jolie. This is by far the weirdest story I've ever had to write about on this channel, and I'm surprised I'm just finding out about it for the first time, seeing as I have been doing these videos for over 2 years. Angelina both shocked and confused the world in 2000 when she attended the Oscar Awards and kissed her brother on the lips. But not like a quick greeting kiss, no, like a big, romantic, weird kiss. She had won the award for Best Supporting Actress that night, and in her acceptance speech, she gave thanks to her brother, who she claimed to be in love with. She said, I quote, "I'm in shock and I'm so in love with my brother right now. He just held me and said he loved me and I know he's happy for me and thank you for that." Then later in the evening, she posed for photographers with her award in hand and her brother by her side, and that is when they shared the epic kiss on the lips. After it flooded the media, she went on to say that it was nothing more than brotherly and that her parents loved the picture. I'm uncomfortable. I have a brother and there is no way. I love him to death. One of my best friends, my God, and he would be just as happy for me if I won an award, but there's no freaking way I'm wrapping my arms around him and kissing him like he my man. That is weird. Earning our number 1 spot is James Franco. This one is far more serious than the other ones on our list. We haven't seen James much ever since his career literally ended on the night of an award show. In 2018, he showed up to the Golden Globes and accepted the award for Best Lead Actor in a Comedy for his movie The Disaster Artist. He stepped on stage wearing a Time's Up pin, which symbolizes the movement led by hundreds of Hollywood women in hopes to support those who need legal help in addressing issues of sexual harassment and assault. While some people might have initially thought it was a very powerful thing for him to support, other people were quick to call him out on what a disgrace it was. Women immediately began calling James out on social media for his own behavior and said they could not believe that he would wear that pin in the first place. Other celebrities came forward with claims of his sexual harassment racism allegations, as well as students from his LA acting school who actually ended up filing a lawsuit against him and sued him. His career literally ended that night, and he has been blacklisted from Hollywood ever since then. In our number 1 spot is Robert Opel. I don't think anything ruins a career as much as streaking does. That is right, this activist ran on stage naked in 1974 at the Oscar Awards. That takes some guts, to say the least. The Oscar host David Niven was on stage and he was trying to introduce someone, and people in the audience just randomly started screaming in shock. Robert ran on stage naked right behind David, flashing the peace sign. It was a moment that went down in history, but how David handled it was actually everyone's favorite part. After the streaking moment was over, David said to the crowd, "The only laugh that man will ever get in his life is by stripping off and showing his shortcomings." He deserves an award just for how he handled that situation.